Hello, everyone. Just want to give a big thank you to Ken Burke for all the great work he's been doing from Pinellas County. He is the Honorable Clerk of Court. That county deserves to give Ken so much praise, and I hope one day there's a statue in the name of Ken Burke there, because he is really a true Floridian, and it's the kind of Floridians that we need in this moment in time. I wanted to make this video because things get so lost in translation through emails, and now you realize people use artificial intelligence just to even say anything. That good old-fashioned conversation is what needs to happen in these cases. And like Ken knows, transparency is the answer to all these horrific abuses that are happening. He had a great data transparency bill that would keep an eye out for how many wards are tied up to each guardian, and where they're operating in how many different counties. And he's been doing great work even before I showed up. And so has people like Sam Sugar and Rick Black and Hillary Hogue and so many advocates. And really what we need to do is just like what Ken said, is transparency. The only way to stop this is to getting people to be aware of what's happening in these probate courts, what these lawyers are doing, what these judges are doing, what these professional guardians are doing. And it should be a shock to everybody in this country what's happening in these predatory, I would say, industrialist courts. These are people that are making money off the elderly or off the disabled. I mean, it's sickening. It's completely sickening that people make millions of dollars in their fees in this arena. And it's an arena where one professional guardian, for example, could have 1,000 wards. There's no law in the state of Florida that'll stop that from happening. We don't know in how many counties they're operating. And what I've been doing in Tallahassee, for the last couple of years, it's been a lot to me. I've met a lot of good people. I consider some of those lawmakers my family, regardless whether they're Democrat or Republican. I have to give a big special thanks to Yvonne Hinson from Gainesville. She's the House representative there. She is like a grandma to me. She is amazing. Same goes to Rita Harris. She's done fantastic with her assistant James. Senator Garcia, also from Miami, amazing with everything that she's done with her staff, Alejandro. Senator Baxley has always been gracious with me. Mike Caruso, fantastic individual. These are people that want to make change. They want to fix things in Florida. But the sad thing is, like I said, this is an industry, and it's an industry for lawyers, by lawyers, and they make a lot of money, and they're not going to give it up easily. And my basic concept to this is I want them to go to work. If they want to say that there's some sort of abuse, or there's a bad family member or a bad apple, we'll prove it in court. Go to the court, go to the jury, and tell them that you aren't a good son, or you're not a good daughter, or this child with special needs to be taken out of their parents' home. I mean, the kind of games that these lawyers are doing, it's just unbelievable, and it would never fly in front of a jury. And there could be a lot of laws you can write on the books, but unless people are there watching these abuses happening in court, where it's a lot of just back scratching, you could say, it's gonna continue to happen. So I wish more people would spend time in Tallahassee. I wish more people would pay more attention on who their elected officials are. I mean, my number one advice is we have enough lawyers in Tallahassee. Our country used to be about having people like scientists be presidents, like Benjamin Franklin and so forth. It's just, I want everyday hardworking Americans to be in these elected positions. I want teachers, I want policemen, I want engineers, I want farmers, I want CPAs, I want everyday Americans are the people that I think should be in these high places of position, because it's full of lawyers right now, and they're going to protect their own, and they're going to protect the industry, and it's never going to stop, because they're making millions, if not billions of dollars per year in Florida off this probate industry, taking away our loved ones, putting them in these institutionalized places just to fleece their estates. I mean, they're charging anywhere from $500 an hour to $900, if not more, over elder law. I mean, who could imagine somebody saying this was a good idea to create an industry of lawyers that seek out the elderly to make money? I mean, I can't even believe you can say it in one sentence, like elder law. So I think this whole thing has to go back to the drawing books. And I think the key to that is just having a jury be part of the process of removing someone's civil rights. And this goes back to what our founding fathers always said from the beginning, that you can't give someone that much power, because it creates corruption. To have one judge and one lawyer in the room say that this person's not thinking straight or not acting well, and all their rights have to get revoked and turned away, and then they have to get removed from their home, from their wife or their husband or from their kids, and placed in places where we can't even see them. It just makes no sense. And like I said, there's been a lot of advocates before me and since me, and we just have to stick together and know that this is just the beginning. And the more we expose this, the more we shed light to this, like Ken Burke has said from the beginning with the transparency, the more the way that'll be a way to stop this. And with the media's help, tackling these kind of issues and coming to the courtroom and questioning these attorneys, I think we'll finally be able to change this. So again, thank you for everybody who's advocated this year, and we'll be back at it next year. We're not going to give up. But this is a big fight, and it's a fight. Just so you know, it's a fight against lawyers. They're the only people opposing what we want, because they're making money, and they're making lots of money, and we need to stop that. It's sad to know that Florida has the highest ranked state in the entire country of lawsuits. Florida, the place where people come to retire and kick back and relax, has become a epicenter for lawsuits. Why? Why are we giving them all these opportunities to keep this litigation at play when there's no need? If people make a will and they make a trust, that should be what stands, and that should be respected and honored. If you guys really want to help, next week there's a hearing on my family's case where we're going to go to court and say, you know what, this should never have happened. My stepfather should never have been pulled from his house. He should never have been put in a home with convicted felons as caregivers. They should never have found him with a broken hip, no food, no medicine, tons of DCF, Adult Protective Service complaints. The man has a hospital named after him, and yet today, 4 years later, he's in an unmarked grave. So why did this happen? And so, with the media's help, we can finally start, like I said, exposing this, and this should be on everyone's mind. We're all in the same boat. We're all going to get old. We're all going to end up in these things, and what we're finding out is what's waiting for us. A nursing home with no generator, a nursing home with people that don't even know how to administer medicine now as caregivers being allowed to give medicine. This year we had a bill from Senator Colleen Burton saying that investors can come in and get involved in these assisted living facilities and be shielded from any lawsuits because they're passive investors. And I'm like, no, if you're going to make money off the backs of our hardworking Americans and elderly, and something goes wrong, you better believe you're going to be on the hook and be responsible for what happened in that facility and why people got abused and died. And so I was able to go to Tallahassee and kill that bill, and many others that were like that. There was another bill about if you turn 65, they can freeze your account for whatever reason. And I went up there and spoke against that bill as well, and that bill died. So we just need to pay attention and work as a group and work together, and have leaders like Ken Burke and Rick Black and others guide us in the direction that we need to go, to work together in harmony, because they're working together against us. So we have to work together against them and have the same front and challenge them at every step of the way. So I just wanted to make this video because people like to shoot tons of emails, but I just want to be myself and say that I didn't get into law because I wanted to. It wasn't for the money. I've been working for the biggest law firms for the last 10 years in Florida because what I witnessed terrified me. It terrified what I was seeing 10 years ago, and it terrifies me today. That one day you could be sitting out here relaxing in your home, and the next day your whole life can be turned upside down just because someone in court decided that something was wrong with you, or make some allegation that isn't true. And that's not the way our country was based on. We need to have a jury of our peers, pass those judgments, look at the evidence, listen to the experts, and decide whether our rights should be revoked or taken away or anything like that. So I'll let you guys go with that. But thank you everybody for the kind words, and thank you for all the advocates that have been helping me along the way. And we're not going anywhere. So hope you guys the best, and I'll be looking forward to talking to you guys soon. Thanks.